Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are putting on our detective hats. We're embarking on a bit of a journey, one that could potentially save you thousands of dollars, not to mention a mountain of legal headaches. We're going to look at the exact step-by-step process of verifying a real estate appraiser's legitimacy right here in Massachusetts. So let me just ask you, are you buying or selling a home in Massachusetts and want to ensure that your home's appraisal is in expert hands? Discover the exact steps to verify the legitimacy of a home appraiser's license right now. Seriously, this isn't just bureaucratic red tape. It's an absolutely crucial investigative guide to protect what is likely your most valuable asset. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the high stakes of appraisals, understand the different credentials, walk through the state LLIP search, check out the federal ASC registry, figure out how to interpret those results, and finish up with some best practices. All right, part one, the high stakes of appraisal. Look, a real estate transaction is often your largest financial commitment, right? And an appraiser, they're the objective professional who determines that property's true market value. Working with an unverified professional is basically playing with fire. It can lead to massive financial pitfalls. Way back in 1989, the government passed something called FIRREA. That stands for the Federal Financial Institutions Reform, Recovery, and Enforcement Act. This law established incredibly strict standards for real estate appraisals. It means that having a licensed, highly regulated appraiser isn't just a suggestion for a healthy housing market, it is quite literally federal law. If you skip this verification step, the real-life dangers are severe. Imagine relying on an unlicensed or improperly credentialed individual. This can lead to glaring inaccuracies in property value assessments. You could accidentally overpay for a home by tens of thousands of dollars, or leave a fortune on the table when selling. Worse yet, using an unverified appraiser opens the door to potential fraud and breaches of legal standards that could completely derail your mortgage approval. No way you want to risk that. Moving on to part two, understanding appraiser credential levels. Before we even start searching for a license, we kind of need to know exactly what kind of appraiser we're looking for, right? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the 4 federal credential categories established by the Appraiser Qualifications Board, or AQB. At the entry level, we have the trainee. They have to work under direct supervision and definitely cannot sign reports independently. Next up is the licensed residential appraiser, who can handle non-complex 1 to 4 unit residential properties, but only up to a value of $1 million. Then we step up to certified residential. These folks can appraise any 1 to 4 unit residential property with absolutely no value limit. And finally, the certified general appraiser. They can evaluate all property types, including commercial and industrial, with no value limits whatsoever. You have to ensure your appraiser's credential matches the complexity and value of your specific property. All right, part 3, step 1, the state LIPS search. To verify a license at the state level here in Massachusetts, we use something called the eLIPS platform. This is the centralized, public, and entirely free state database managed by the Massachusetts Division of Occupational Licensure. Basically, if an appraiser is legally operating in Massachusetts, their active credentials will live right here in this system. So, here are the exact steps to navigate this tool. It's super straightforward. First, go to the Massachusetts eLIPS license search page online. Second, select the tab for either an individual or a business. Third, from the drop-down menu, choose Board of Registration of Real Estate Appraisers. Finally, enter the appraiser's details. Pro tip right here, if you have their specific license number, definitely enter that. It's the absolute fastest way to bypass generic name matches and get straight to the facts. Okay, part 4, step 2, the federal ASC registry. Our detective work doesn't stop at the state border because, well, a state license is really only half the puzzle, especially if a mortgage is involved. So the absolutely crucial point is this. We must check the Appraisal Subcommittee, or ASC, National Registry. This database confirms whether an appraiser is actually eligible to perform valuations for federally related transactions, often referred to as FRTs. If you're getting a loan from a federally insured bank, your appraiser absolutely must be in good standing on this national registry, no exceptions. Let's move to the next phase and see how this builds upon our state search. Navigate to asc.gov and click on Appraiser Registry. Enter the state as Massachusetts, or MA, then input the appraiser's name or license number. Once their profile pops up, verify that they meet the AQB criteria we talked about earlier, and definitely check their public disciplinary status. Which brings us to part 5, interpreting disciplinary action results. Finding the record is awesome, but now we have to actually analyze it to make sense of the data we just pulled from both registries. The most important fields you'll see are the status indicators. Active means exactly what you want it to mean. The appraiser holds a valid credential and good standing. Inactive, however, is a massive red flag. It means the license is expired, surrendered, revoked, or otherwise not in good standing. Keep in mind, inactive records are kept in the database strictly for historical reference. An inactive appraiser cannot legally appraise your home, period. When you look at the ASC registry, it will specifically report active disciplinary actions that limit an appraiser's ability to provide services. You are checking to make absolutely sure there are no suspensions, no revocations, and no voluntary surrenders in lieu of discipline. If you see any of these, yeah, it's time to find a new appraiser, for sure. Now, here's a kind of fascinating quirk in the system you need to be aware of: the number 35. You see, it can take up to 30 to 35 days for a newly renewed or upgraded Massachusetts state license to synchronize and finally appear on the federal ASC registry. So, if an appraiser tells you they just renewed their license last week, but the federal registry is still saying inactive, this little delay is most likely why. And finally, Part 6, Best Practices and Final Disclaimer. As we hit the home stretch here, let's lock in your best practices based on our investigation today. First, verify that the appraiser's credential limits actually match your property's type and value. Second, always play it safe and cross-reference both the state ESOL database and the federal AST database. Third, don't be shy. Ask potential appraisers point blank about their specific credential tier and if they adhere to ethical standards. And lastly, just confirm their expiration dates haven't lapsed right in the middle of your transaction window. Now, if you find yourself stuck or if a registry result looks confusing, you don't have to just guess. You can actually contact the Massachusetts Board of Registration of Real Estate Appraisers directly. Just shoot them an email at dpl-appraisersboard@mass.gov or give them a call at 617-701-8671. They're a fantastic resource if you need some clarification. By taking the time to navigate these registries, you are putting a massive layer of protection around your real estate transaction. It is a tiny investment of time for a huge amount of financial peace of mind. As a quick reminder, the information provided in this explainer is accurate at the time of recording, but you should always independently verify details as state and federal regulations can and do change. But I want to leave you with this one thought. What hidden risks or financial pitfalls could you uncover just by spending 5 minutes to verify your appraiser's license today? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and hey, best of luck protecting your next transaction.